Inner peace and learning the importance of self-fulfillment is the basic Stoic principles today that we're going to break down for you to implement in your everyday life so you can live a more happy and accomplished life. Well, what the heck is Stoicism? Briefly put, Stoicism is the philosophy of accepting things as they are. That means people, events, and actions of others. Everything that happens, accept it. Now, we're going to be diving into Meditations today, which is a book written by Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor king who resided between 121 and 100 AD. Marcus wrote this book at his tent during military campaigns at night when he finally had time for himself. This initially wasn't supposed to be a book that was going to be published to the public. It was just a notation of a man's thoughts and his beliefs, and someone happened to get a hold of it and posted the book, and it ended up becoming the book that we know today. So we know there's a lot of credibility behind this book because this isn't supposed to be a book for monetary gain. This was just a man's beliefs and thoughts written in a diary format. First, let's talk about Marcus's first point in his book, and that is surrounding yourself with the right type of mentors, people, teachers, philosophies, and beliefs. Now, these are the foundation, the building stones in your life and how you will develop as a human being. From a young age, Marcus says that the Stoics should focus with surrounding themselves with the proper education, the proper mentors, and the proper friends and family in order for you to grow up to be the proper person. This is a basic Stoic belief where you are the product of your environment. You need the proper surroundings for you to go into the proper direction. It's very simple. You are the product of your environment. So for example, if you are in a toxic environment, maybe you have family members that are constantly feeding you toxic content, you will grow up to become a toxic person whether you want to or not, because that is all you've ever known. So staying on the topic of toxicity, we can move on to today's problems. We live in an age of social media. Everybody wants to be famous. People are putting on a facade in front of a camera. Well, the question is why? It's because a lot of these people are searching recognition constantly from others because they hold the opinions of strangers higher than their own. They constantly need to be fed that ego of theirs from other people's words because their self-esteem is low. This is dangerous behavior because it leads to a society of individuals who are unhealthy narcissists.
Many people in today's society are clout chasers. They venture onto social media when they feel insecure to seek attention from people they don't even know as a sense of fulfillment. Instead of looking within themselves for affirmation, they pull out their phone to gauge their happiness by the number of people interacting with their posted content. People such as this value the compliments of others more than themselves. Unfortunately for them, when no one is interacting with their posts, they end up feeling frustrated and anxious. They then try to repeat obtaining the initial sensation of attention over and over since the first dosage wasn't enough. No additional attention after that will ever be enough either. They have forced themselves into a circle of frustration. Understand, attention from other people is just a temporary fix to a deep-rooted narcissistic problem. These are the type of people the Stoics advise to avoid as much as possible.
Even people from 2,000 years ago have this issue. Marcus comments upon this and says, "People who are excited about posthumous fame forget that those who remember them will soon die too." Meaning, don't seek attention from someone because that same person you're trying to seek attention from, not only will they pass away, but they might also forget you even posted that thing on social media. How many times do you find yourself scrolling through social media and then you can't even remember the last 5 things that you saw? You have to go back and look at the pictures and you won't even remember maybe a day later that you even liked the picture. So why are you constantly seeking recognition from people you don't even know on social media if you yourself know that you are going to have that same issue of forgetting? Don't seek recognition for your actions. It's very simple. You'll live a more fulfilled life if you are doing actions simply because that is the right thing to be doing. You will never truly feel in control of your life because you are giving the control to every single other person in the world because you're letting their opinions run your life and not your own. So let me give you an example on how I implemented this in my everyday life. Early college, late high school, I used to be pretty overweight. I was 234 pounds and I was extremely self-conscious about myself. And by the middle of college, I started to lose weight and I started feeling better about myself. But there was an issue. I started posting pictures on social media to fill my ego because all of these years, I was constantly self-conscious about what other people thought about me. And because of that, I was posting pictures for the wrong reason. I started posting pictures to feed my ego, whether it was subconsciously or even consciously, I knew what I was doing. I was posting pictures hoping that man, I hope this guy slides up, or oh, I'm hoping someone slides up and say, you looking good, dude. Once I started reading Meditations, after I finished it and started implementing Marcus Aurelius's teachings and truly trying to understand what it really means to be a Stoic, I started to realize that the way that I was going about living in my early years is very wrong. I was putting the opinions of everyone else in front of my own, and that truly, even though that I started to feel good about myself physically and mentally, overall was not healthy at all. After I stopped posting pictures and videos out of hoping someone would slide up and getting recognition from other people, and started doing it for what social media was meant for fun, for self-fulfillment, after I started implementing the Stoic philosophies into my everyday life, my quality of life has increased tenfold. So what do you do when you come across someone who has a grandiose ego, who's absolutely repulsive, they're arrogant, their style is just off, they like to talk trash, maybe they talk ill about you, maybe they like to start drama with you? What do you do when you meet someone like this? The foundation of Stoicism is that any external event that you encounter in life does not bother you in the slightest. Let me explain. You can recognize that there is an issue going on, but that is the furthest that you can go and act on it. As long as you know that that external event cannot hurt you unless you let it, then you are a Stoic. Like how we just talked about, self-fulfillment is inner fortitude. You are your own fortress, and anything external, what people say, think, and do, should not matter to you. Others' actions, opinions, words cannot hurt you unless you let it. You cannot control how people act, but you can control how you think of their actions, of their words. So let me give you a quote from Marcus. A spider is proud when he catches a fly. A man is proud when he catches a hare. Are these men not robbers? Now, we can examine this. If you're the spider and you're going after that insect, you're simply doing something to survive. It's in your nature. Well, let's say you meet someone who's toxic. They grew up in the toxic environment. It's what we talked about in the beginning. They are the product of their environment. It's in their nature. So if you recognize this and understand, this is the way that this person is. This is their personality. It's easier to accept that and not let them hurt you, not let what they say get to your soul. This is a very basic Stoic belief of accepting people as they are, because once you do, you'll realize that 1 out of 10 people in the world will be this type of person that brings you pain and drama and seeking attention and just all around bad news. When you finally run into that type of person, you can recognize them, this is the person who has an ill nature. So let's summarize the 3 main points that we went over for Stoicism. 1, make sure you surround yourself with the right mentors, the right people, and make sure that they're in your life at a very young age, because that means that you are the product of your environment and you will grow in the right direction. 2, don't seek fame. Only do things because that action in that moment is currently the right thing to do. Live for yourself. And finally, 3, accept people in the world how they are. You cannot control external events, but you can control how you view every single external event. This is the main Stoic belief. And I would like to end with a quote. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you really like the content, please leave a like and share this video with friends and family. Leave a comment for a book that you think that I should read and review for you guys. And I would like to end with a challenge. If you really enjoyed this content and want to live a happier life, I seriously recommend Stoicism. The book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is really amazing, and I think you should deep dive into it on your own. This is the book right here. Take the time. It's only $10. Thanks. Have a great day.
If you ever see me talking to myself, I'm just